Well, it's D-Day. The countertop guys are supposed to be here in a few hours. It's about 10 o'clock now. I've already got my paint out, and I did some paint touch-up around the corbels and on the walls, and a little patch I did over here and a little bit right in there. Just did a little once over on everything. A couple marks I had over here. Did that. And then, remember I told you I was going to put some pine 1x3. Well, it was 1x2. It's actually like 1 3/4 inches. Oh, actually, you know what? I think it's Douglas fir. I think it kind of looks like pine, but it's Douglas fir. And when you use this stuff, you can't just screw it in, or else it'll crack, depending where your screws are. So I cut a piece, and I knew there was a stud on one side or the other of that electrical outlet, and all I did was that. See, that's hollow, and there's a stud right there. So I just put a mark down there. I didn't even have to get a stud finder out, and I cut the piece, fit it in there, and then I pre-drilled the holes for the 2 screws, and I even used caulking behind it. And I didn't have any construction adhesive that was opened, and so I just used this stuff. The Quick Seal Ultra. Remember, I use this kitchen, bath, and plumbing. It's siliconized, okay? And that stuff sticks really good. Remember, I used that for the top of the quarter round that I installed, and I put that on the back side of that just to give it some bonding. And over here, I couldn't hit anything except that one screw right there. I had to pre-drill in at an angle, because usually on either side of an inside corner, you can hit backing, okay, with a stud. There was no backing here, but I put the glue, the silicone back through there. I pre-drilled that, screwed that in there, and I wasn't sure what size screw, and I always got coarse threaded drywall screws. These are 2-inch. I ended up using a 2-inch there and a 2-inch there, and then I used a 2.5 there, and then a 2-inch and a 2-inch. And see, these two I just drilled, and I just put it in. Even though it's not hitting anything, instead of screwing it straight in, I pre-drilled a hole this way, and I screwed it in this way. I pre-drilled a hole, boom, like that at an angle, and then I screwed that one in there. Does that make sense? That you can't pull that straight out now. You see what I'm saying? And I also put the caulking in there, and the caulking will have 3 hours to dry before the guys get here. Plus, you know, I don't know if they would have needed that or not. Their countertop's going to sit on here. It's really not going to bend or do anything like that, but in the future it might prevent it from breaking, depending what happens over there, but probably nothing. But maybe this will just give them a little bit more room to put a little bit more of their sealant before they put the countertop in, okay? And to get those pieces, I had an extra piece here, and I just used that as a straight edge, and I put it on that right there, followed it through, did the same thing over here, followed it through to make sure it wasn't up too high, too low, or anything. And you know, I had these because I took a counter off upstairs, and I saved the pieces. I just put them upstairs in the attic. I'd never know when you're going to need them, right? Okay. So now that I have my caulking opened, I haven't used that for a few weeks, and lots of times when you have a small little hole and you try to clean it out, you know, with your little deal here, it wants to clog up. That just comes out. I got it all unclogged. And now, remember, I got this little tiny piece that I'm gonna take and I'm gonna put right up underneath that. Well, let's see if you can't see that. See? It's you know, I could have left it and I could have caulked it later and stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and take some silicone. I'm just gonna squirt a little silicone on a piece of wood. And see, here's my little scraps. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on there, take a little bit with my tiny screwdriver and put it on the back side of that and stick it up there and call it good. And see, I've got my my vacuum out here with my attachment on the end. And yesterday I went ahead and I vacuumed all this to get all the dust up off of this floor to make it so that nobody's going to slip on it or anything when those guys come in here. And I even used my saw, my battery operated saw. This thing works really good too, Bosch. And then I vacuumed up all my little shavings. And so, you know, I'm almost ready for them. Remember, I'm going to take this drawer out and store it in the other room. I'm going to pull this craft paper out, take the 2 top drawers out. That way, this will be out of the way. And that way, when they put their glue on here, if any of it spooges out, it doesn't run over on the pre-finished, and they can reach under there. This won't be in their way. You know, if I put the craft paper on there, that's in the way. So if their glue comes down, they're not going to be able to clean it off very easily, right? So I'm just going to take this out, and then I'm going to go the extra mile and put a piece of masking tape right here. And along where the finished edges are, this cabinet door, I don't know, I might even take the cabinet door off. There's only 2 screws to take that off. And put a piece of masking tape there. These guys are going to be impressed when they get here. They're going to be like, man, you got everything ready for us. And then I'll put some masking tape right there along the edge of this, because this is pre-finished. See, they don't have much room to put glue on here, right? Look at that. And so when they set their counter down on that, and that caulking or whatever, the silicone sealant they put on there, if it does that, they can wipe it off of here, because there'll be masking tape, or it'll spooge and stick on the bottom of the countertop, and then they'll probably clean it off from underneath that way too. So I mean, I don't know how they do countertops nowadays. I would have left all the plywood on top of here, but no, they didn't want to do that. They've got a special way on their countertop, because it's different than installing granite. This is quartz tops, and they wanted to use just the full piece. They didn't want to have to add another second piece on there to go down to cover up the plywood and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And so, hey, that's fine. I'll do it. I did it, and I'm gonna be ready for them. Well, it's 11:20. They're supposed to be here between 1 and 3. I got everything done. See, I pulled the drawers out and the cabinet door. I put the masking tape all the way up to the top edge. That way I don't get any of their glue spooged down on that front edge. Took the 2 drawers out. I even took these 2 face frame trim pieces out that look like fake drawers, and I can pop those in later, because see, there's some plastic goodies here, and then there's some plastic tongs on the back side, and it goes boink, and it fits on in there. So I thought I would do that too. Got this already, masking tape, got the masking tape around here. I even had this one kind of fall back, and I put a little bit of caulking in there. I did that on the other one too. I'm glad I kind of checked those. And I just put some masking tape around the edges of that, just in case they get overzealous with their sealant when they put it on there, and then they push their top down. I figured I might as well do it. You know, it didn't really take that long, and I've got everything done, and I can take a little bit of a rest here for the next couple hours waiting for them, and I hope they let me run the camera when they get here. Oh yeah, the countertops are here. The countertop guys are here pre-fitting the seams together. And I thought that interesting. They actually will level these if your cabinets are not perfectly level. They check that out before they seal the bottom of that to the cabinets, to the top edge of the cabinets. And then they just mixed up some god-awful smell stuff. What is that? That resin stuff, right?
Yes.
Same.
Your epoxy that's going to use to seam up your two stoves to each other.
Right. And you have to kind of mix it so that if you see any of it, it's still the same color as the countertop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We try to color match it as best as possible. Try to make this go away a little bit.
Uh-huh. I wonder why they couldn't have made that one in one piece. For some reason, the guy, when he measured, he said it was probably going to have to come out in two pieces, but isn't that kind of odd? Is that normal?
Yeah, I mean for 50-50, just depending, I guess, on on how the measurement is.
Yeah.
If it's a little too tricky to get this angle in one piece, then they'll do the
I mean, that could have been why he decided to have that cut in two pieces. But with quartz, your seams don't really show very much when you get all done, do they?
No, not too much.
Not like like granite. I could see granite seam maybe showing a little bit more so than quartz.
Yes. Has a lot to do with the color of it too.
Uh-huh. And it took both of them and then some for them to lift this big one off of the truck, and they use these little handheld device to bring it in, and they just manhandled that sucker and lifted it up there. They still have to pre-fit this in here.
Do you ever throw your fishing pole out there in the river?
No, not yet. I've been doing all kinds of work in this condo, doing renovations to it and stuff, and just about every day I've been doing something. And I thought as soon as the counters go in, then it's all about hooking up the plumbing and the sink and the garbage disposal, and then I'll run out and get my license and start throwing my fishing pole in the river there.
You guys are doing tile for backsplash, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Initially, we were thinking about just doing like a 6-inch piece of the same quartz material over there, but then we wanted to continue it across where the stove was going to be, and then up to the
Bottom here?
the bottom of the microwave. But see, that's an old microwave, and we haven't gotten the new one yet. It's on back order, just like the stove.
Yep.
And so we thought, hey, maybe we'll use this and take this as an opportunity to figure out some nice, funky tile countertop there, you know, going from there up to the bottom of the upper cabinets, and then down below the stove and up to the microwave. So
Pretty cool.
so we kind of axed that because it was going to be too much of a hassle. You guys would have had to have come back. You couldn't measure anything.
Yeah, we would have had to do a secondary.
You know, all that stuff. And then I thought it might look too samey in here. We get some color with some nice design of tile or something with the grout and stuff, and maybe jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, well, they're going to be, oh, that's cool. It's going to be interesting to see how they lift this. I'm not quite sure what all that's about. We'll see. We'll see.